Hello and welcome to the 28th episode of the Gochuucast, and PK has miraculously arose from the dead to join us for the 28th episode. Told you he'd be back, and he is.
You didn't lie. You didn't lie.
I've never lied, especially not about Saturday 3 p.m. EST. It's always been that time.
Hey, all I'm saying is that if no one saw PK's body, and we know the rule in anime. If you don't see the body,
They're not dead.
they're probably not dead.
Of course not.
This goes for anything.
Yep. Yeah, even the Malaysian...
maybe not any.
Man, I don't know about anything. I don't know about anything.
I don't
I'm not
know.
gonna say anything.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, so today's topic, we have, we're going to be looking at anime that we want to be remade, basically. Anime Brotherhood, if you will. I'll just get this out of the way. Promised Neverland deserved better, even if the ending for the manga wasn't that great. Okay,
Yeah,
it's been said.
Can we just restart season 2? Or make a season 2, I guess?
Season 2 doesn't exist, bro. That's not a...
At the start of it, I didn't, realize anything was amiss because I hadn't read the manga in a while, and it seemed right. But then people were like, oh, there's like 15 chapters skipped. I'm like, oh, really? The fuck? And then it was like episode 4. They did something. I'm like, oh, it's just fucked. It's just done. I was so mad.
So it doesn't really fall in line with the topic, but Blue Exorcist had something similar where it was the season of Blue Exorcist that had come out. 15 episodes of it were the manga content, and then they just anime only endinged the whole rest of the show. It's like a 25 episode show, and almost half of it was just filler. But they ended the show and like ended the story, and then something like 10 years later, they just were like,
oh boy.
Season
like
that.
You became an Optimus Prime for a second there.
Yeah, it's not underwater, bro.
It's my internet.
You're good.
Yeah, right before you were about to talk about the new thing they made a decade later or whatever is when you died.
Yeah, they Saga arc like a decade later. Just pretended like they didn't do 10 episodes of the anime. Which is not exactly Anime Brotherhood, but I did think it was funny because Full Metal Alchemist had a similar thing with that, where it had the old Full Metal Alchemist that had anime original ending and stuff like that, and then they made Brotherhood, and essentially we're just like, all right, let's do it the actual way this time.
A little backtrack.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, Promised Neverland. I don't ever see it getting a redemption because manga's done. There's no.
Yeah, they're not remaking it.
There's just like there's no money to be acquired.
They squandered their opportunity, bro. It had the potential, but they just
it's somewhat popular, but it's not that popular that
it wouldn't be popular enough to like bring back.
Would be going crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I think I think they really like. So here's the thing, like, of course they can't go back on it. They're not gonna like redo the entire thing. But I'm just wondering what like if they'll do anything that could possibly redeem what happened in season 2. Like, is there anything they could do?
No, they literally ended. The series is done.
No, I know it's over. It's over. I'm just saying, like, is there any sort of like side thing they could do to redeem it?
No, they got to remake
Nothing?
it.
No.
They have to remake it. They're subject to that fate.
There's like a one shot that got made, I think, of like something like that before the story ended. But it's not long enough for like anything to mean any. Like you can't make an OVA out of it or anything. So it's just fucked. I don't think they'll touch it with a 20-foot pole. I think it's gonna be one of those things Cloverworks looks at, be like, yeah, we fucked that one up. Let's not try and do that again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which, like, in their defense, and they've been doing fine lately. I think it's just they need to take projects they know they can handle, and they're not like a very action heavy kind of studio, so that Promised Neverland's like later seasons, it was just not something they could handle, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
Although they've had
yeah.
some actiony things lately that they've done that have gone pretty decently.
I mean, they're a part of Spy Flame, which I don't know if I'd exactly call action. Plus, they were working on that with Whip.
I guess that's they do partnerships, so to speak, for stuff. Because like they did Fate Grand Order Babylonia, but I believe that was also with someone else.
That's Solomon, which they did
they
alone.
Also did Solomon.
They did Solomon alone. I don't know where the other fucking one is. Probably somewhere down here. Yeah, Babylonia.
They just did Babylonia.
Yeah, it was.
Those are both like more action heavy things. So
yeah, I can't speak like I'm sure they're decent enough quality as opposed to, or is it like static action kind of thing?
It's like kind of in between. When all of these series are like nothing is happening until shit hits the fan type of shows.
Yeah.
So like in an average episode you might not, or in like the first half of the movie or something, you might have zero action, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, now we got to go fight everything.
I see. Apparently they did. Pretty sure what's Fairy Tail's final season. That's something I did not know they did.
Wait,
surely they didn't do that alone, did they? No. Okay, it was A1 Bridge and Cloverworks. Okay. I'm gonna say there's no way they did that shit alone.
Are there any besides like obviously Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Do you think there are any like remakes that like really you think they really like succeeded like in all of anime?
Remakes don't happen very often. Like we just got one this season with Urusei Yatsura.
Yeah,
but
Hunter x Hunter is
right, that's true. That was one. Yeah, that's true.
Biggest example I can think of.
I mean, there
are others for sure, but
Unlimited Blade Works technically is a remake.
Yeah, like Unlimited. Yeah, this Fate series is technically Dororo was actually a remake, but that's like the original Dororo was from like the 60s, and so it's like obviously like people are gonna prefer like the much newer one more.
Yeah.
I always forget to count this one because I always forget that there's an older version, but Fruits Basket was a remake.
Yeah,
that show's like 20 years old, isn't it? It's like
something like that.
I want to say it was the 90s.
5 years ago.
I'll look it up.
The
but
final season
was
last year for it, I think. I don't remember when they started it though. 5 years sounds right. Like
2001. Yeah, so it's like 18, 19 years.
Yeah, I forgot Dragon Ball Kai existed. That's a thing. It's like just an HD version of like the older one, which is
okay.
It was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sure
those are probably the main ones to me.
Yeah,
like Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist, Fruits Basket, and Unlimited Blade Works are like the poster childs.
Right.
Because then there's some other ones. There, Berserk had its remake, and that happened.
Yeah. The one I was thinking of was like Higurashi, but it wasn't actually a remake, right?
It was like a sequel or some shit.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was like mostly like the same. I think. I don't know. I don't know the difference. I couldn't speak.
Yeah.
On
So
that.
like without spoiling it, I think I kind of get what it was, even though I didn't see it because I read like. Yeah. I read like the manga, which is the third adaptation because originally a visual novel. Anyway, like without spoiling it, I think I know what like it was. It's not the same story, but it's like it could be perceived as the same story because like
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I don't care. I don't care about spoilers anymore. But like he like repeats like the
I knew that was a thing. Like
yeah, so like it's like a different path or whatever. I mean, I don't know if it's canon or like quote unquote canon. I don't know if it's like faithful to the visual novel, but I believe that's what the newer version is. It's not like
it's just like another
remake. It's just like another So like because it starts from the beginning, it can be perceived as one. So yeah, but it's not actually. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of, but it actually wasn't. But other than that, I don't think I can think of. But Fullmetal Alchemist is a very good example of like where the remake just became like so much more popular than the original one. Although I think if I recall correctly, someone posted. I don't remember when it was, but they're like the top 100 anime in like 2006 or something like that. And the original 2006. I don't know what year it was, but the original Full Metal Alchemist was very high. So it's pretty impressive that they were able to like kind of outperform the original one. So
I think the difference with that one to me is the original is very watchable still. It's still very good. And by comparison, like I can't stand the original Hunter x Hunter adaptation at all. And Unlimited Blade Works original version is actually unwatchable. So by comparison, it's like kind of fun that Full Metal Alchemist had this thing where they're both pretty usable.
Yeah.
both are just good. Just one is just better.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Something else that got remade was Shaman King. I don't know anything about it, but that was like recent, I'm pretty sure. Like last year, maybe. I don't remember.
It was.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
I don't know a lot of Shaman King's fans, and I don't know anyone who watched the remake.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it did get a reboot of some sort.
Yeah. How old is this show? Oh my god, 1998. Oh, I'm out. Oh no, wait, that's a manga. Never mind. 2001. Okay, so it is like 20 years basically on the dot. So yeah. So maybe 20 years from now we'll get a remake of I don't know, whatever anime is. We'll get a remake of Licorice Recoil. Okay, so look forward to that.
Yeah, 20
You'll be able to
years.
show You'll be able to show your kids that.
It's weird to
and
think
tell them how
about
the original was
because,
better.
like the idea of anything that we're currently watching or like have watched recently getting a remake just feels so cringe. But like
Yeah, it's
20, 30 years from
unfathomable,
now,
honestly.
it's like
It's very hard to
realistic in
think
some
about.
things.
It's
Yeah.
a little goofy.
Well, 20 years is just an arbitrary thing. I just picked it because of those two, but I mean, it could happen sooner. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very weird to think
I
about.
mean, yeah, it looks like a lot of the stuff that is getting remakes these days is about that like 20 to 30 year mark.
Yeah. And I think it's like even worse if you like the show, which is kind of hard to like think about because it's like, oh, you like the show, like why would you want to remake it? I guess the purpose is just to like make it more appealing to newer audiences, which makes sense. But
It's also
it is
like,
kind of weird to watch a show and be like, yeah, this is gonna get remade. And I'm like, why? It's good already. So
it's also weird to compare this particular era because there's been such a drastic change in technology over
and how
this
things
like,
are communicated.
30-year span, which is part of it too. But then there's also like the idea of technology slowing down or like hitting its plateau. It still feels kind of unfathomable to me.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't know where technology can go, but I feel like it would be weirder.
AI, you're gonna get replaced by an AI.
Yeah, exactly.
the
But no,
podcast will be done.
I don't know where we could go from here realistically in term, but it still feels weird to think that we're all gonna in 30 years still be on our PCs and using our smartphones and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure the AIs will figure it out for us.
Yeah.
They'll know where to go.
You're out, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess with remakes, it depends because like something may be like good in terms of like general quality, like back then, but obviously like nowadays with the increase in technology we have to be able to make things easier and look better, you'll be able to get like a much better looking final product, especially if like something's action based. You can get so much more mileage today than you ever would like back then. Or even just like a slice of life, because like backgrounds are so much better for the most part now.
That's the thing, because there's so many of those older things. Not that we don't have like well written series in this generation, right? But there's so many like well written masterpieces from like older series because they didn't have to think about crazy animation or anything, or like where the series is going to go from there. It was just I'm going to write the story I want to write. Which some people still do, but then admittedly there's also a lot of trash that's out right now in terms of writing.
Mainly it's like all the isekai.
Yeah, to me this is like still a cool market because there's a lot of older series that are just incredibly well written, and a lot of our generation won't see them because they're old, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like eventually it has to go back, right? Because one day we're gonna run out of shitty isekai adaptations, and so they'll have to.
No. The future is to actually be able to let people participate in isekai.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Yeah,
To be able to program that into people's brains. I mean,
Now, I think
just
what's
have
funny,
SAO.
unironically,
funny
like
to
that.
think
That's
about-
actually the future. Like
what's
I'm not
funny
even
to
joking.
think about is an anime getting like double Brotherhood.
Just
Yeah,
remake
two
of the
remakes.
remake. That'd be a little goofy.
So like Hunter x Hunter, for example, right?
Yep.
It got remade in 2011. So like 15, 20, maybe even 25 years from now, assuming technology continues to progress at a pretty exponential level like it had, then it's like there's kind of a fair case if Hunter x Hunter has ended by then to just remake it again.
Hunter x Hunter chapters coming out.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
Dude,
releasing
imagine-
one soon, or they have. I don't know exactly, but
something like that.
Dude, imagine Demon Slayer in 1995.
Demon Slayer wouldn't have gone off the ground in
Yeah, I'm
1995.
saying, bro. I'm saying.
I feel like Demon Slayer in 1995 might have got canceled in its magazine. I'll say it.
Probably.
Bro, 3.7 on my anime list. No
I
cap.
hate to say that, but like he might have just got canceled.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that a lot of things get canceled these days.
Including me.
I am genuinely surprised that I think Roboco is part of Shonen Jump. I don't know how that shit made it out of. Just the art style is like so unsettling that. Oh, I can try and link it. Hold on, let me go find it in case you don't know what I'm talking about. But like, I look at the cover and I'm like, I don't. Yeah, okay. Boku to Rokobo. I don't know if it's a.
What is this?
I don't know if it's Shonen Jump or not. It's something goofy. Here. Just look at the picture there. Absolutely terrifying.
What is this?
It's a little
Hello?
bit-
Yeah, I'm not
It's-
watching this,
it's
bro.
quite a bit
This
of-
is you. This is
quite a
all
bit
you,
It's
of
bro.
just I'm not watching either. It's just too much for me. I don't know. Like I don't know. This is something I would have expected out of the 80s, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. That's you. That's all you, bro.
I mean, if you told me though that this was really funny, I would believe you. That doesn't mean I'd watch it, but if you
Yeah,
told me,
it has to be like
this show's-
comedy, right?
If you told me
Yeah.
like this show's hilarious, I'd be like, yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I would not touch that with a 20-foot pole. It's like
Yeah, they
JoJo.
just-
Everyone likes JoJo's that watches it for the
Yeah,
most
I
part,
just-
but
I can't-
I
I can't
just,
touch
you
it.
know, it's just not gonna
It's
happen.
not.
It's the art style, man.
Yeah.
And I guess the theme, but it's mostly the art style. It's just a little weird.
A little.
So I don't know.
a little bit.
People's tastes are different back then, I guess. I mean, that's the only explanation I could possibly have. Yeah. I mean, art style is also like a big thing because I mean, we've talked about like previously how there's like different eras and like yeah, just making it more appealing with like the modern arts. I shouldn't say the modern art style, but with modern art style, that's just like huge for people to digest it. Because like if you told me to watch like a 2001 anime that like is like insane, I'd be pretty hesitant just because like I don't vibe with the art style back then for most of them. So yeah, it makes sense. I think that's one of the
Saying-
biggest
saying
pluses. of being-
art style back then is a little crazy.
I'll
Yeah,
never. I don't know. Like older art styles are fun. It just really depends on like how, like the oldness combined with like, because like the thing we looked at, right? You can tell it's modern, but if that was like, you know, made if this exact same picture was made back in like the 80s or whatever, it would probably look
Yep.
even more repulsive than it does now. So it's like I don't know. It's just a bit unsettling.
yeah,
There's also
for sure.
something to be said for just like the knowledge of how something is going to be animated from that time period, and thinking about how like that art style is going to translate.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's some of the things where I'll see something. It's a great example because we're gonna segue to this pretty soon. I'll see something like Rurouni Kenshin, the old version of it, and just thinking about like how it would be animated back then and everything, it would be one of those things to me that's like this probably looks great for its time period, and believe with how popular the series is that the story is probably really good. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really want to watch, 1996 Rurouni Kenshin. That's just, in terms of like animation, probably going to be
it's
pretty,
not an enticing prospect.
pretty mediocre, even if the story is great.
Yeah, maybe for the time.
But the good news with that is that Rurouni Kenshin is getting a reboot next year.
I see. Yeah, I do think reboots will definitely or remakes, reboots, whatever, will be more common. Because, like, I guess when you call something like a reboot, like, technically, Yama no Susume, Encouragement to Climb, technically is a reboot because we had the recap episodes to start us off in season 4, but and like the art style is like noticeably different.
Yeah.
So like,
I think
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just also like you mentioned the technology thing. That's why like remakes, I agree that it'll become more popular just because like a remake has so much more potential to do more because of like the proliferation of like if an anime series is like good, everybody will know about it, right?
Yeah.
So like that's why I think like a remake could be good because like, you have all these like hidden gems, quote unquote hidden gems, whether they actually are, I don't know. But you have all these like hidden gems that are just like marred, I guess, by like poor relative to now animation, just like a completely different art style that's foreign to today's population.
Just father time, yeah.
Yeah, and now you can like revive the new story, the good story, with the new animation, with the new art style, and it's gonna like explode if it's actually good, probably. So there's, I mean, I can see like for sure, like there's it's enticing for people to want to try and promote remakes and stuff like that because I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah, there is like you gotta be careful with it because like Disney's been remaking fucking everything left and right, but they've been going down like the opposite.
Little Mermaid.
They've just been doing a bunch of like live action remakes, where it's like Lion King. Like I mentioned in my Bochi video, like Lion King is the fucking real life version. Who wants to watch a real life lions do shit from the Lion King, right?
Dude, that'd be
like,
crazy.
You lose so much like emotion and like. Because animation is obviously a much easier way to express a story.
Yeah.
And so when you have real lions like smiling,
I don't know what they're thinking,
like,
bro.
They're thinking like, Lion King. All their parents will go take their young children to see this. We will sell 3 tickets a pop, and every single time, and they get money off of it, and they remake another one because people can't stop watching them. People hold a lot of power. They're too stupid to realize it. If you don't go watch something, it will not happen. But no, everyone just keeps doing it, and then it's bad, and they're like, maybe the next one will be good, and then it's not.
Yeah.
And then it's just consume product repeat type of thing. But like with animation getting remake is completely different, right? Because you are still going to retain the same benefits of having it, things be animated, but it will just be animated better, theoretically.
I mean, it's functionally a new media form if you're moving it to like real life, right? So
yeah, it's like it defeats the purpose of what was animated to begin with.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, you can have decent like live action adaptations. It's not easy though because it's such a shift.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I get it. Although I'm just like thinking because like we talked about live action, which is like obviously a completely different thing. With respect to like just translating to a different media form, I do wonder how many remakes will actually not necessarily go the route of live action, but just like say, well, we can't remake it, but maybe we'll just try a different like media form, like visual novel, manga, or whatever. I know it might be more uncommon, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like,
I almost feel like live actions and stuff. Like to me, they all feel like different projects. I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying like.
So I get what you're saying. At the same time, I feel like most really like sought after series are most likely just going to eventually get both over time.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably. Yeah.
Or like all of those forms of media.
Yeah.
The Rent-A-Girlfriend live action.
Oh my god, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Do not.
If you go,
don't talk.
I feel like the government probably like sees who buys those tickets, like just put them on a list just to keep an eye on them or something.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
it's a little weird jam.
That the Air Among Us live action. I don't even know that exists. But
I horrendously doubt that exists.
no, but listen, the government's watching that one too, for sure, for sure.
I think the novel for that ended recently, actually.
Oh, you sound knowledgeable about that. I get it.
I saw
it.
something on Twitter about it.
Oh, so you're likely story, likely story.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. I won't judge you. I won't judge you. I get it.
I would not ever dare read the fucking Eramaga Sensei novel. There, because like I buy the physical copies, right? One, I don't even think it has a I seriously doubt it has a translation, but I would definitely not put that on my shelf.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I get it.
Yeah.
Don't want your mom seeing that.
No, don't need anyone. It's like 30 years, or not fucking 30 years. I gotta give myself a little bit of credit. In like, I don't know, fucking 10 years, my child walks into my office and sees the Eramaga Sensei book on the shelf.
Let me show you something, son. Let me tell you a little bit about
that's not something. All right, we're gonna be moving on to anything else. Anything else. I guess I kind of want to go back to expressing things through animation. I'm gonna make a video on it eventually. But the new Arknights anime is like, it doesn't have any like, it's very well animated, right? And but it doesn't have like any single moment where it like goes absolutely insane. But it's like really consistently good, and a lot of the animation continues to go into like the facial details of like expressing emotion. And I feel like that's something that a lot of older anime would definitely benefit from in terms of like being remade. It kind of it reminds me of a game I have played many of times, the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Love that game.
So they did not change jack shit about the game, but what they did do is that they added like, it was a graphical update for one, but then they also added to the characters like facial expressions to make them like more emotive, I guess, with their dialogue. And so it added a lot of character to the game, right? It's just a small detail, but it means a lot when you're actually watching it in the moment. And so like something that would employ it recently would probably be like Bocchi the Rock, Arknights, stuff like that, where you don't have to spend a lot of time on like action, or maybe you have the budget for action, but you have the budget also to contribute to just the duller moments, or what would be perceived as duller, I guess, having more to them.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's always just room for improvement, even if you're like remaking just the entire thing. I think another thing, also another thing that I think like I guess like from an English speaker's perspective, it's like if you look at a lot of like subs and like this is purely from an English speaker's perspective, so it's not like I mean, I'm sure they'll do it for Japanese, but like updating the language, because language has changed a lot in 20 years. So like introducing slang and stuff like that, I feel like that, like especially people who like translate manga and like even the sub people for anime, they have a lot of liberties. I know you guys love like all the freaking panels that say Among Us or Sus or whatever, but like that kind of stuff could be updated, and that's also like a room for innovation or whatever you want to call it.
Depends on who you ask, because it depends on how much you're going to localize it, right? Like you'll see the dub clips float around, like in the Wonder Egg dub, one of the characters says no cap, and I'm like, that like fits the character, but it does not fit the setting. It does not fit the setting, I guess, because in Japan they can't say no cap. I guess it's like, it's a dub, so who cares?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know if I want to be like the hi fellow kids type of thing. Like, I don't need the like, you can use the base English language, and it's like the stuff that says sus, I don't really care. Just write the word suspicious if you're gonna do that. You don't need to be like,
I get it.
You don't need to be hip and funny. And if like the words Among Us pop up, that's just a happenstance. There's nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't. There's like there's a line to be drawn. Like, if you're gonna get like really goofy with it, it needs to be like a comedy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I'm not a big fan of the Among Us jokes. That's not for me, but I get it.
I'm honestly impressed that it has not fucking died after 2 years going
I mean,
on.
to me, it's
I
died.
think
To other
that's,
people,
like,
I don't know.
The problem is every time it comes back or anyone says anything, even intentional or not, anyone makes a reference.
It's
then,
always
like,
intentional.
It's like
oh,
it's like D's nuts jokes, right? They're like, you're not gonna like go out of your way to make one typically, but when the opportunity arises, like D's nuts.
I hate these nuts
These
jokes,
nuts
bro.
is,
Those are my
they have
favorite.
permeated throughout time, and Among
is
Us,
true.
because like Among Us is like such a easy thing to find in like media, and then the little astronaut dudes, like anytime I see something, it's just brain rot because I've been exposed to it for like 2 years, and even if the meme dies, it's never gonna die for me. Because I'm gonna look over and there's gonna be like a trash can. I'm like, Among Us,
Yeah.
or I see the words Among Us or sus or like suspicious,
Yeah,
and I'm
just
like,
like while normally reading.
I'm like, fuck, no, get out of my head, go.
Yeah.
If
I
I,
had had to leave for a few minutes, so I don't know if this is already been talked about, but the Komi manga is like notoriously really bad.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
putting in
I know.
Among Us
I know what
jokes.
you're talking about.
didn't they literally played Among Us?
Yeah, they literally played Among Us.
Yeah, it's.
I remember Mars sending me screenshots of them playing Among Us in the manga, and I was just like, "What?"
Yeah, that's the different thing from like I mean, I don't know how long you were gone. We were talking about like localization and stuff. I don't remember if you came back for that part.
That's probably around when I had left, but it's fine.
The only thing you missed when you were gone is I talked about like expression through like in the faces and stuff.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I guess one of the things that I want to talk about, because I want to bring up my proposal here, is: are there any shows that you guys have in mind that you would want to get Brotherhooded?
Let's take
'Cause
a
I have a few. I have a few on my mind.
let's take a.
You guys go first. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. So I'm going to start with the number one thing. I at least want the Dark Tournament arc to be in like new animation at some point in time, but it's Yu Yu Hakusho.
I wouldn't be
Yu Yu
surprised
Hakusho?
if that is like something that I would not be surprised if it got remade. To be honest,
I've probably talked about it before. Yu Yu Hakusho is, in my opinion, as good, if not better, than any of these like big shonens that we're having coming out these days.
In my
And
day,
so for me, yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't grow up with Yu Yu Hakusho though. I just kind of watched it on a whim a few years ago, and it was fantastic. And it has some of the best shonen arcs. In particular, the Dark Tournament arc I named just now is phenomenal and probably my favorite anime arc of all time that I've watched. And so for me, this is a series that it's like, we're in that time period where it's been about long enough that it's realistic that it could get remade. A lot of people like it, and I think it could do a lot with like the 2020s animation quality and budgets.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a boomer show that I think I've seen on like Toonami or something back in the day, but that's about it.
It's like I could definitely see that. Like maybe I don't know, give it another like 5-10 years, you could definitely get a remake.
How popular was it actually?
I mean, it's getting the Netflix live
Very-
action.
yeah.
So I mean,
Okay, fair.
It's definitely one of those shows that it could be any time. It could be 5-10 years from now when they just decide to do it, or it could be something that's like they've been working on and just gets announced like a week from now. Probably not, but it's like a show that is probably pretty high in the pecking order of stuff that people would want to remake.
yeah.
The other one I have in mind, mainly for the same reason that Full Metal Alchemist got Brotherhooded, is Soul Eater, which is not as popular, obviously, as
It just had a goofy ending. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a goofy anime original ending in the last arc of Soul Eater.
You've died.
And so it's just one of those
Optimus Prime.
things that's like, oh, am I dead?
Yeah, you died.
No, you're good. You're good now.
Welcome back.
Andy's gone. God dang it.
Oh no!
Is what I was saying.
So you cut out before you started speaking, and you came back. Is what I was saying.
So they don't want me to talk about Soul Eater. That's what I'm hearing.
Dude, the government found you, bro.
And my Soul Eater take is being censored.
Basically, they
The last arc of Soul Eater is really good, and it has not been animated. And for me, given Soul Eater is not that old, but like generally, 2008, like you could just Brotherhood it.
Yeah. For me, Cockroach Granada. So I'm like I don't know if anything I've watched and like would desire like that's older and I would desire a remake for would ever. I don't know if I have anything, because like I'd say like of the older things I've watched, like I love. Clan Ed, talk about it fucking every fucking episode at this point.
You
but
love big Clan Ed guy.
I don't think I'd ever want that to get remade.
It's too
That's how
perfect.
I feel about like Code Geass. Like Code Geass is something that would potentially be in line for a remake one day.
Oh, I would. Oh my god, I know what you mean. I would love a Code Geass remake, but I get it. I completely get it.
I don't want them to touch on what I love with a. It's just
yeah. I know. I'm just like I'm ready for the disappointment, but at the same time, man, it'd be cool. It'd be kind of cool.
Time, it'd be cool. Yeah, exactly.
What
That's crazy,
what I will
bro.
say is that Clannad was made or animated by KyoAni, so I don't think they could fuck it up. Like I trust everything that they would ever potentially maybe think about doing. So if it did happen and it was KyoAni that was animating it, I would be cautiously optimistic, probably, because I don't think they'd fuck it up in any capacity. But I also don't feel like it'll ever need one. Like it's fine and where it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'd put Code Geass also, where it's like Code Geass is really good, and so it doesn't need a remake. But like, will I be surprised if one day it happens 10, 15 years from now? No, not really.
Yeah, I could see it. That was one of the ones that I was going to mention, but I agree with you that it's like very scary to like. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just weird. I think the one. Well, I mean, one obvious one that I like, I guess it's like obvious, but they've already had like the live action stuff for there's like a Netflix version. The other one is Death Note, but like I don't know. I don't think they're gonna touch it, but that's like another one. That
How
could be
old
like,
is Death Note even? It's like
It's in that weird
2000
time range.
17 years. Oh, 2006.
2006.
It's in that
Yeah.
weird time range.
Oh,
where
6 or
it's
7.
like, you can remake it, but most like things like Death Note and Code Geass aren't going to get touched because they actually had proper endings. The only
Yeah.
reason something like Full Metal Alchemist got touched is because it didn't have a proper ending.
Yeah, and like
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like the only way it gets remade if it did end would be like if it's old, like as fuck. Like Urusei Yatsura was in the 80s, I believe, is when it aired. So it's like, yeah, it could get remade now.
Yeah, it's like Rurouni Kenshin is 1996, which isn't that old, but it's old enough that it's like you don't fair.
Yeah, it's like creeping up on 30 years.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other ones in mind, Spat?
Yeah. But see, now that we mention all the time
Now that
context,
I mention it, you're like, I don't know. I mean,
no,
still
I
think
do.
they'll work.
But now that we mentioned all the time context thing, where it's like 20 years from now, I'm like, damn, do I really want this anime from like 5 years ago to be remade? Yeah, I kind of do. But like, okay, here's why.
Okay.
Because I have problems. Here's like my like thing with remakes, right? You guys, or like not you guys, me too. I see a perfect anime getting remade, and you can see it potentially getting ruined, right? For me, I see a flawed anime potentially getting saved by a remake. You know what I mean? Like there are things that I like. I didn't like about X anime that I think like.
And both of those things have happened before too, so it's interesting.
Yeah, so like, of course, I would like I don't know. The one I was thinking of was like it's like a very recent anime, so it's like it's stupid to say that like I want it remade, but like Yamada and the Seven Witches, like that show is like 7-8 years old or something like that. But like I found problems with the show, but I loved like the concept of the show that I just like. I want them to remake it, but I want them to remake it my way, Baby Rage.
Your yeah. Okay.
No, but for serious, that's actually my like opinion on this. It's like, Or like,
I mean, this segues pretty nicely into like the second question that I thought of, like midway through the podcast, which is like, what are things that we think will eventually get remade
think
as like
I guess
question, dude.
before we answered that, I would need to go because if we're gonna do things from the past like 0.2 years,
Yeah.
The Detective is already dead.
Yesterday.
Definitely, it deserves a proper comedy adaptation instead of whatever bullshit we got where they tried to make it serious, which was definitely a tragedy. And it got a season 2, so it's never getting remade. They're just gonna keep going with it.
They'll just keep going, yeah.
But
it deserves better.
It
Because this
deserves
is
so
where,
much
like,
better.
to me, like, Code Geass falls into place. Because it's like, I don't necessarily want a Code Geass remake, but I won't say no when it happens 10 years from now, because it's probably inevitable.
Yep, I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm watching that shit. Like, that sounds fire, but I get it. I think another thing is like, when I say like I want it to be the way I want it, it's just like it's so hard to have faith in like a lot of these, because like what if they get a different different studio to do it, and like it's like very risky, especially when you consider like even from one season to another, a lot of anime can change.
Yeah.
Like X anime gets one season, and then 5 years later they get season 2. Like Devil is a part timer, right?
Yeah.
It's like what,
That's
7-8 years after, right?
10 year
It's like,
gap, I think.
Yeah, Classroom is Elite, another one. So it's like a lot can change between that. So like, damn, if you're gonna remake the entire anime, it's like, wow, there's a lot that could go wrong.
And it's like, even if the studio doesn't change, which is like the big changes that we notice, like so much personnel change happens.
Yeah, like the people. Yeah, because even when the studio changes, it's not guaranteed the people won't work on it. Like Vinland Saga, for example, I believe Wit Studios transferred it to Mappa, but I believe they're keeping the same people that worked on season 1. So it's like, I don't know. It just depends. There's a lot. The studio rolling the studio dice is always a scary prospect.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a funny one to think about because Super is happening. Do you think that Dragon Ball will ever be remade?
No, definitely not. Well, no, because Super exists and it's probably going to get more anime. There's no reason to like.
That's like my thought too.
There's no reason to remake it, because you can just make newer stuff, and which means newer merch, which means more money.
Does Dragon Ball do this is something that One Piece does sometimes, where it'll take like arcs from its older series and then remake them like arc by arc as like a movie or a short or something like that?
So what Dragon Ball has done, when Super got made, so when Super was made, they had 2 movies already, Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F. They remade those as really long, boring, shitty anime arcs, so they could pad Super's runtime, and so that's what they did with that. And I don't think they'll do that for the Broly movie, but I don't know, because I mean, it's the anime is going to come back at some point. It's too popular not to. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, makes sense.
I unironically think that when Hunter manga ends, they'll just remake it again.
I don't know about that. They'll probably just
that might be a
they'll probably pick up where they left off.
They also might just say F it and then start from where they left off. But 2011 is long ago, plus the time for it to actually end, because I don't think they'll touch it until the manga's finished. There's no reason to. So it's like there's gonna be so much time since the 2011 season.
I mean, I don't know, because it's Madhouse. They'll probably just pick it back up. I don't think they would ever switch it off of Madhouse.
That is true.
It's probably just like better to go back to like who would be familiar with it if they were to, finish out the series, basically.
Mm-hmm. What are some other things I think eventually will be remade? K-On! Will probably get remade.
I don't know about that.
I know that's silly to say, but
I don't think K-On! Has enough staying power to like.
You don't
think in the whole expanse of time, K-On!'s not enough of a cult like popular series that it would get a remake?
don't know. I can't like.
Is that the determining factor? Enough of a
I think
pull?
this is part of the issue with remakes in our brains. Is like nothing that we've watched that's somewhat recent feels like it would be remake material.
Yeah, what's a recent classic? Are they going to remake Demon Slayer? Are they going to remake Attack on Titan?
They're not
See,
gonna
that's the
fucking-
problem.
They're
Yeah.
about to just end. They're not going to remake those until like maybe 40
Why
years
not?
later. I don't know.
Just start the next season, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think 40 years from now that
Dude, just
they'll
make like a
an Attack on
perpetual
Titan
like
remake?
Attack on Titan is going to perpetually like release in a row for the rest of time. It's just going to be continually improved upon every time. It's like spot the
of course.
differences. You know, when they show you the two pictures, it's like you have to spot the differences from like episode 1 in 2017 and episode 1 in like 2030. That's my new idea.
Yeah.
Genius.
You know,
Genius.
it's certainly an idea.
Yeah, it's one of the ideas
One
of
of the
all time.
ideas of all time. Yeah.
What I was thinking of was Toradora, but I don't know. That doesn't seem like a remake.
I don't think
one.
that would ever get remade. No.
Yeah, I don't know. It is old though. Kind of.
It's getting
It's
a
like
movie
2000s.
this year. It might have actually come out already. but it's getting
Toradora?
A movie?
this year. No, not Toradora.
I was gonna say.
segueing into what I wanted to talk
What?
about.
Oh, you said it's actually
Oh.
gonna get a movie, and I'm like, wait.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
you say it,
Said
bro.
it
It refers
is
to the last thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Segueing. All right. Well, segue failed.
Just say the thing.
Getting a movie this year
Mm-hmm.
is Slam Dunk, which is kind of in a similar vein as the things that we're talking about getting Brotherhooded, but it's also very different. No, it doesn't release until December. Fair enough. It's different because I don't know what the content of the movie is, if it's restarting the series type of thing or if it's its own little story or something. But before the movie getting announced, Slam Dunk would have been one of the things that I would have liked to have gotten a reboot. And depending on what the movie is, I'm still not opposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
I haven't been on Twitter all day, and I kind of like look at it for 1 second, and now it's just like it's literally on fire.
Let's go.
Like,
Average, most calm day of Twitter.
The most calm day of Twitter.
Bro, Twitter's literally going to shut down probably.
Is going to shit.
I mean, I think
That's the
Elon
point
needs
that
to
we're
like
at.
get
Yeah.
over the remote work thing, because that's what like caused a bunch of people to say, "All right, fuck it, we're done." Or no, because already like a very rough
the problem
transition.
is they've all resigned, right?
They
So
yeah,
it's
they're like
he already tried to go back on it, but at this point, like so much damage has been done.
It's yeah, 44 billion. He's probably not getting that back through this investment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at like trends or whatever, and Discord is trending pretty heavily. I don't know if people think it's somehow going to be like the next big social media, but that's like
Discord's
just not,
getting remade.
that's just not
Discord's
how it
getting
works.
remade.
Because like nothing's going to be like the same as like what Twitter was, because no one's going to go on
Discord
to fucking
will get a
Facebook.
remake eventually.
Discord
yeah, like I'm not
remake.
going on. I'm not going on to Discord.
Discord
for, like,
too, bro.
sports news. Like I use Twitter to keep up with sports and stuff like that. So it's like I'm not going to be using Discord for my sports news.
Yeah, what would be like the next big social media? Like what's the Twitter brotherhood? What's gonna Twitter brotherhood? Because like yeah, like for
Isn't it just the rest of the world just starts using WhatsApp or whatever?
I don't want to fucking use WhatsApp. I've never touched WhatsApp. I don't know. I don't. Is WhatsApp
WhatsApp
even
is
like
like a freaking. Dude, my parents use that because they have to talk with people from India.
It does. Yeah,
That's
don't
like actually
all Indians just use WhatsApp or something like that.
I think it's like in foreign countries they don't like text; they just use WhatsApp. I don't know. I said foreign as if like
yeah,
there
I
are
was like-
200 countries, but like it's a lot of them.
Like,
Yeah.
I've heard multiple Indian people say that. I'm like, I don't know if there's like proliferating like a stereotype about themselves for like comedy, or if like literally every Indian
No, it's
uses
just like-
one WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's just common,
No,
I
it's-
guess.
Yeah, it's like I say it as a joke, but also like that's one of the things a lot of places like outside of the US use for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I just
We could all be like Japan and just get online.
Oh, Line, yeah, or we could be like
Line.
Korea and get a cow talk.
But yeah, it's just like it's not the same. Like
China?
line is. We're not talking about like texting,
No,
right?
no,
We're
I
talking
know,
about
I
like
know.
news. Like, because here's the thing. The only
Oh,
thing
okay,
like
yeah.
That's why I bring up WhatsApp because I'm pretty sure WhatsApp is like everything.
I
I don't think it
don't know. I
because
think
like
WhatsApp is just like
because here's like the next closest thing to fucking Twitter is Facebook. I know damn well I'm not making a Facebook account, so it's like
Dude, Facebook Messenger. That's where we're going back
like
to.
how was like news gonna like spread in like the same way? Because Twitter is it's like fourth largest website visited on the planet. It's like no one likes Twitter, but you can't like deny the
It's
social
kind of a
impact.
necessity,
Yeah, it's been like a necessity for the spread of news because you're not gonna like, here's the thing, right? Like for fantasy sports, maybe you're not gonna sit there and wait on Google like every like I don't know like hour or something. Like you look up your fantasy player. Did they tear the ACL at practice today? I sure hope not, because no one's gonna get the news of that out to other people.
Yeah.
It's like who's supposed to where are you supposed to get the breaking news? Basically, it's a very difficult thing to see where we're gonna go from
To
here.
think about, yeah, because if Twitter does actually shut down, it's like we do got to go somewhere from here.
I feel like
We're going
I
back to
don't know.
I feel like
AOL
it
and
might get
MSN
that
Messenger.
bad.
That's what we're doing.
Maybe they should just let him back out of the deal. Yeah, that's the only reason he went through it. That he was like looking at it, he's like, Twitter has a lot of bots. Maybe I don't want to spend $44 billion on it. And they're like, oh, but we're gonna sue you. And he's like, all right, guess I'm spending $44 billion. I don't know.
It was just so silly when, like, the first day or two he had it, and he was just like, we have a bunch of shit here that I want to cut down on, and without knowing what it actually was. It just
Yeah.
starts firing
He
people.
started
who were,
firing
like,
people.
doing their jobs
He's
correctly.
like, wait, come back, please. And he's like, you know what? Let's remove remote work. We need people back in the office. That's what's wrong with Twitter, surely. And then now here we are where we are, I guess. I don't feel like Twitter shutting down is like, is it one of those things where it's too big to fail? Because I mean, it doesn't make money, right? It loses money to run, but it's so important. I feel like surely somehow, some way, someone is going to accidentally get their head.
Survive. Yeah.
It's going to limp out of this. I feel like.
I kind of have the same feeling too, but at the same time, it's like, everything dies eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that usually it's like a gradual thing, though, right? Not like the fourth largest website on the planet dies in 0.5 seconds type of thing.
I can adapt. I mean, that's like the next step, right? It just
Some
adapts to absorb
big-
new features.
Some big tech company out there, if Twitter was shut down, would just make the next Twitter, basically. Because like, who's going to stop them? Not Twitter. Like, you just gotta remake it. The problem with it is like, it's not profitable. Like, I could see Google making something maybe because they have enough money to just do whatever the fuck they want. That's why YouTube exists, right? Like,
if I was Google and I was seeing all this happening, I would probably be.
I'd be looking at my jobs.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, how do we take this entire
that's free
market
data.
share?
Because that's like the only reason YouTube exists, because like Google is the only company that could ever eat these hits that like, because YouTube is obviously not profitable like in any capacity because of how many videos get uploaded and how much server space you have to do. Like there's one dude who literally has a bot making videos for him, and he has like 2 million videos, his channel alone, and they're not they're like not like 10-second videos, they're like 5 minutes, something like that. So it's like this dude is uploading every however many minutes because of this bot making like tech videos for him. It's that's a lot of space getting eaten up. And so I feel like if anyone was to take on what being a social media app is, it would be
It would have to be Google.
it would have to be Google, because no one, Mark Zuckerberg, he has sunk his own ship already. They've been gradually going down with the metaverse. He bet on the wrong horse. I don't know. Give me a fucking high up position in a fucking tech company at this point. I could have told Mark Zuckerberg that he was a fucking dumbass for trying to push Meta at this point in time.
I could have told
We're
Elon
saying this right
Musk
now.
that, like,
10 years from now, we're gonna be
before we
Twitter
fire
too.
people-
There's Twitter too.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's like realistically, if Twitter doesn't get its shit together pretty soon, yeah, we'll realistically move to the point where it's just
Someone's
everything
gonna
is
have to
run
make
by
something.
Google. And to be fair, we're probably going to hit the point of everything is run by Google eventually anyway.
Yeah, because they should
In the like unlimited amount of time that will pass, they will probably reach a point that Google just owns everything online.
like, oh, we're getting sued for being a monopoly. No. We'll pay the government. I'm sure they'll get us out of this situation. Oh, I sure do love lobbying. Anyway, Fuck, I was gonna say something. I don't remember now. I guess yeah, it was because like Vine died, right? But then after Vine died, Musically rose to power. But then Musically died fucking immediately, and then TikTok is now the fucking cesspool that we have now.
Just Vine, but
it's Vine, but it's longer than Vine.
Longer.
Yeah.
Less magical. I loved Vine.
Vine, yeah.
There was also a bunch of random other phases like Yik Yak.
I don't think I've ever fucking heard of Yik Yak. At least I didn't care about it enough to remember.
Oh, Yik Yak. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Daniel wasn't at. Daniel was like in middle school when Yik Yak came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yik Yak was definitely a moment.
It was so stupid. It was the stupidest. It was the biggest fad for like 6 months.
The setup of like a Twitter or a Facebook, but instead of it being like your friends or the people you follow, it's just everyone in your general area.
Yeah, 2013 would have been before.
So you would like it was like you open it on like this would happen in college where like campus, you would open it.
College campuses.
Yeah, and you would someone would post something stupid and like everybody could react to it.
Yeah,
and so like
we
were like, yo, did you see this on Yik Yak? There's like only people near you, right?
Now
so,
that
like,
I'm looking through the images, I knew this existed and like when you described its purpose, but I definitely never used it.
Definitely too young to have had a reason to use it.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get it, bro.
Yeah.
But that was a moment in time.
Yeah, like MySpace existed at one point and died. You know, it's just
like the best example I have of why like
something will come back.
Actually, could yeah. But it's also the example of why the Twitter stuff actually could like spell the real end of Twitter.
Did MySpace go down and like because I never paid enough attention to it. Like I just knew it existed. Obviously, just never used it.
It mostly just hit the point where it was like not sustainable anymore. Whereas Twitter is hitting the point where it's not sustainable because Elon Musk is
being a little goofy.
Yeah, that's how I'll put it. I don't want to be disrespectful about it, but
well, I have a classic billionaire moment.
Yeah, I have a master's in business, and there's a lot of things I probably could say about how the whole thing was handled.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think there was never a reason to buy it to begin with, because like, it's really
that in and of itself is like my biggest issue with the whole situation is I never understood why he even tried.
Like Twitter has value, right? It is a fourth largest website on the planet, and there is a lot of data that probably goes through there, but they don't like. I don't think they sell the data off because if they did, they'd probably be better off than fucking Facebook. Because like they don't have that many ads on there. They just don't have a lot of monetization, so it's like it's very valuable, like on paper, but there's not a lot to get out of it, I guess. Like yes. I think
like it's one of those things where, it looks very pretty, right?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, I could own Twitter, or I could run Twitter, and it sounds really appealing. It's like the Simpsons meme with Homer standing with his shirt off or whatever.
He's got like the scrunchy things at the back.
Behind him, it's got
all losing money
just tied together.
Yeah, it's like
that was Elon Musk buying Twitter. Was that meme?
You know, it's really odd because it's almost like everyone like shits on Twitter, but now that it's like going to be going away, it's like there will be a void. There will definitely be like a void of.
Oh yeah.
Like at the same time, like Twitter's dying. Like there's positives to that, but it's something else that's going to take its place. Who knows what is the problem, right? There are plenty of like Twitter-esque like sites, but they can't function because advertisers would never dare touch them. Like the fucking Donald Trump one, fucking True Social. There's not a chance in hell an advertiser would ever go within 10 miles of that thing. So it's
exactly.
Yeah, it's just not profitable.
We're moving to TikTok. We're moving to TikTok.
TikTok will be brotherhood.
Yeah. Dude, I found this article. It was like talking about Twitter. Well, read this, bro. Like boomers or like normies describing Discord is like the funniest thing ever because nobody understands like what it actually is.
Discord is not a Twitter replacement.
No, it isn't. But there's like
everyone. I guess Discord is a replacement for the way that some people use Twitter, but not for the way that the general.
No. I agree, but it's like
it's kind of
for our purposes. You equate server with a digital treehouse. That is not the way I would think about a server. But you know what? It's like honestly like.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
kind
yeah,
of
honestly,
hard.
it's not bad. It's just like a freaking weird way to like.
There's a lot that can go on in a Discord. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's just
because
different.
it's not like everyone in the treehouse is gonna be like, you know, big homies or anything. So treehouse is like too like the scale is too small there.
Mhm. Mastodon is an interesting one to bring up.
I don't think I
I've
even know
never
what the,
seen
I
this.
don't,
I
I've never heard
just
of this.
That's
don't
some
see.
freaking
I
boomer
just don't
shit.
see Mastodon getting
So it's
get-
similar to
getting
Twitter.
the public. So the way I would think of Mastodon is it's kind of like what would happen if you combined Twitter with Discord, in the sense that there's
see.
something else that's similar to this too. It's like still kind of separated, where it's like I am not seeing a Twitter feed of everything, right? But it's also not like so personal as like a Discord server, where it's like
Yeah.
I can make a Discord server and invite literally just my friends. Mastodon's more similar to like sports Twitter and stuff like that, where it's, you know, you have your hashtags to access only specific communities. Or
Yeah.
on Twitter, that's basically what Mastodon does to begin with.
I see. Yeah, Discord could never. Who knows? Maybe Discord could. They because like
They
they're
would
pretty.
have to change something. That's the only thing.
Yeah, they would have to have like
As
a
it stands,
Discord
it would
Twitter
never fill the
section.
role. Yeah.
Because like, there's definitely the thing with Twitter, right? It's just an open space. You can see people of like, and while the algorithm will obviously like try and push you towards like things you want to see, you will still occasionally see things that like will differ like from your bubble.
Yeah.
Discord is completely different. Like you're never
Yeah,
gonna
it's
go,
just inherently you're just in your room, right? Yeah.
like if you don't like
servers, yeah.
sports, you're never gonna go out of your way to like join an NFL server or anything like that, right? Whereas like on Twitter, you may see like one of your mutuals like something about it. Yeah, it's just could definitely never fill the role. I guess we'll find out eventually. Something's got to happen. It's just
Copium.
one of those things where you live it in the moment, I guess, and so you don't really. The brain can't comprehend where things could go.
Yeah.
But you know where. I don't. You know something else that's ending this episode. We have obviously run out of brain power to talk about remakes.
Spent about 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
We theorized the demise of Twitter and the remake of Twitter to become Twitter 2. That's what we did.
Twitter will probably get Brotherhooded.
Yeah, that's the conclusion. That's
they actually did restart Yik Yak after like a bunch of scandals and shit.
I am not opening Yik Yak ever again. No, I'm good, dude. I got traumatized, bro. There's some weird stuff on Yik Yak. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, okay. You got yacked?
I got yacked. I got yicked. I don't know if I got yacked.
What I will miss from this whole thing is Ballsack Sports getting verified on Twitter was the funniest shit of all time. It's already got so many people with like you know how people put like the white 7 or whatever to like act like they're verified. That's what they did.
Yeah.
But getting the real check.
Yeah,
oh my god!
Yeah, it's,
like
it's so funny.
Oh my god, that's based.
I think if they were going to do the whole Twitter blue thing, the price should have been like
80.
way higher. It should have been an amount that like the average person couldn't pay.
Well, it was like the whole point was like, oh, we're trying to like shorten the barrier or whatever. There's no reason to. Honestly, more people got Twitter blue than I ever like could have expected. Like there are a lot of people are like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Honestly, if Elon would just shut the fuck up, he probably could have like rolled out Twitter Blue eventually, and then like made a little bit of revenue off of it. Not that like I think like it takes a month of Twitter Blue, or not a month. It takes a year of Twitter Blue to run a day of Twitter. So it's like it's a little goofy. Maybe it is a month of it to run a day. But anyway, episode end. Yes. If you know, at the very least, we're getting some practice for when we run out of anime topics, and we just need to like talk.
And we're gonna talk about Twitter.
We're not gonna. I mean, it's just like it's an interesting route to go down. Getting interesting conversations.
Something that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I mean, what's even funnier is by the time this comes out, who knows?
Maybe Twitter's just gone. It's just gone. When this comes out, we're completely outdated. It's like, oh shit. Well,
I mean, you know what to do. If Twitter dies on Saturday, you have full rights to put that in our title.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, no, I think we can make it to Saturday 3 p.m. EST, which is when this episode will be coming out, and all subsequent episodes will be coming out. If you like what you listen to, you should like the video, subscribe to our channel. I've never actually asked anyone to click the bell, but you should probably do that too. Even though you know exactly what time it's coming out without fail. On the audio only side of things, you can go to our YouTube channel at Is There an Anime Podcast. If you ever want to see the visual side of things, there's not too much going on, but sometimes there is. If you're on the YouTube side of things and you want to listen on the go, you can go to our Anchor link down below, and you can see us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And yeah, I believe that is everything. We've cleared all the bases of the outro, and so this episode has ended just now.